Okay, this is Science Passage 6. It's a research passage. We know it's research because it says experiment 1, experiment 2. So we're comparing different experiments, which is research. The RC approach, R stands for research, and read, but not carefully. Just look at the differences between the two different experiments. R and R approach to the questions. You're going to read the question and then reread it, breaking it down step by step. So what we have is looks like we have 3 different strains of something. Release VAI, detect VAI, tells us what VAI is up here. We have experiment 1 with the strains again and OD time. OD is here. Optical density, looks like we have an RLU value and the different strains again, wherever those are testing. Experiment 1 was repeated, so the same thing. This is you want to know the key differences. Except that the growth medium contained a concentration of 5 nanograms per liter. So it looks like it's a different concentration. So let's get to the questions. Which of the following conditions was different in experiment 1 than experiment 2? So we already know, we just read that, right? Experiment 2 repeated experiment 1, except the VAI content was different. So we see that in experiment 1, so the answer is H. That's a pretty fast question because we just did our quick read through. 35, based on the results of experiment 1 between 4 and 8 hours. Okay, so between 4 and 8 hours. It's interesting here because we have a table and a figure. You got to figure out which one to look at, because we could have been looking here as well. The RLU values, that tells us where to look for sure because we have RLU values in the figure 1. For strain P, right, it's a straight line. What does it do between 4 and 8 hours? And it increased only, right? So again, figure 1 uses RLU, table 2 uses OD. So I don't know what those are. Don't have to, I just need to know it increased. 36, based on the results of experiment 1 at 8 hours. So again, we have kind of the same issue. Do you use table 1 or figure 1? Was there a greater number of cells in this flask with strain Q or strain R? Well, we look at our answer choices and we see OD in the answer choices. Now we know we're using table 2. So we want to know which one has a higher, greater number of cells. Okay, so we're looking at Q and R only. So Q has 1.1, R has 0.8. Well, we can eliminate choices G and H because it's not true to the data, right? Q has a higher content, R has a lower content. So if nothing else, you have a 50-50 chance. Then we have to go to the reading, though, to see that OD is directly proportional to cells. So higher OD equals a greater number of cells. So Q has a higher OD, so it has a greater number of cells. So your answer is F. 37, based on the results of experiment 2 and table 2, so we're using both, for strain Q, the greatest RLU was recorded. So we have RLU in experiment 2. So the greatest is up there right around a little over 20,000. When the OD was closest to which of the following values. So we go to OD, and we see that's in identical to table 2, and we see that's in hours, right? So we need to go to the 4-hour time in table 2 and find Q there, and we have 0.4, so A. 38, suppose if Y question, you have to extend your knowledge a bit. The strains in experiment 1 had been grown in 2 liters of growth medium, so it was grown in 1 liter, so we're doubling it. How many cells would the scientists have needed to add to each flask so the initial number of cells would be the same? So we're doubling the cells and we're doubling the growth medium. So 1 times 10 to the 6 cells is 1,000,000. Double that is 2,000,000. 2,000,000 is 2 times 10 to the 6. You may have just known that. So, but we're keeping it. We can eliminate G pretty easily because we know it's not the same. We know F is smaller. So do you double the exponent or double the number? And you would double the number, 2 times 10 to the 6. You probably didn't need to see this worked out, but just in case, I worked it out. J. Number 39. Some species of squid provide shelter for strains P and R and use the light produced to help capture prey. Okay. The relationship between squid and strains parasitic or mutualistic? A little bit of knowledge here. You have to know that mutualistic is beneficial to both, parasitic is beneficial to one. Both species are benefiting here, so it's mutualistic. You can eliminate A and B. If nothing else, you have a 50-50 chance now. Now, which one produces less light? Strain P or R? So these are reflective light units. P is greater than R, so R produces less light. So your answer is D. 40 in experiment 1, between each sample removal, how many times does a flask rotate? So we have, it tells us in the reading, it rotates at 500 rotations per minute. And then it also says every 4 hours the sample was removed. So we want to know basically how many times did it rotate in 4 hours. So 500 rotations times 60 minutes an hour times 4 hours is 120,000. So J. Double check your reporting categories. We got some of each one in this. So there's a particular type of question that always throws you off. Practice those. More likely it's just something in the question, but maybe the reporting category throws you off. And of course, reach out if you have any questions. Have a great day.